welcome to Therapy Book Thursday. Thank you for joining me today. This month it is November, and so November is Children's Grief Awareness Month. And for the month, I will be reading grief-specific books or books related to grief for my Therapy Book Thursday readings for the month of November. So we are on our third week in November, and we are going to read The Heavy Bag, A Girl's Journey Through Grief. And this is about, carrying a heavy bag of grief and all the things we carry with us when we are grieving. So let's jump in here and see what we're going to learn. This is written by Sarah Surgey and illustrated by Larisa Ivankovic. So there are, if you are wanting to get this book yourself, I'm not going to read them here, but there are some questions and prompts and things for you to consider. Some things in here it says to do before you read, while you're reading, and after you're reading. And that's just things to notice. So pay attention to the feelings and the things that she is going through while we're reading this book, and you can talk about them with the person watching this with you. Enid has feelings. Feelings she had never felt before. The feelings arrived the day her grandpa died. After he died, Enid put all the special things they had shared in her bag and set off on the path they used to walk together. She knew it would be easier to walk without all the special things in her bag, but she couldn't just leave them at home. She wanted to keep them safe and close. With each step, her bag grew heavier, and a great big mix of feelings whooshed down from her head to her toes, making her feel dizzy and heavy. She stomped ahead until... "Wow," the girl behind the stand said. "That's a really big bag. What do you have in there?" "None of your business," said Enid. "You sound angry," Margot said. Enid could feel her cheeks start to burn and her legs wobble. She wanted to scream. Instead, she took off the heavy bag and pulled out a cracked telescope. "Grandpa said he would look at the stars with me," she said, "but now he's gone." "You're carrying so much. It's hard for you to walk," Margot said softly. I'm happy you decided to talk. Let me hold this for you and lighten your load. You are not alone as you walk this road." Passing over the telescope, Enid pictured a smile beneath Grandpa's fluffy gray mustache. When she put her bag back on, it felt lighter. Back on the path, Enid drew a line as she walked. When she came to a stream, she felt so sad that she had to stop and rest. "What's the matter, dear?" asked a neighbor walking his dog. "I lost my grandpa," she said. "I'm sorry," he said. "That looks like a heavy bag. What's inside?" "A wooden boat that Grandpa made with me. We were going to sail it together," Enid said with a cry. "Let it out," the man said. "You're carrying so much, it's hard for you to walk. I'm happy you decided to talk. Let me hold this for you and lighten your load. You are not alone as you walk this road." Enid handed the boat to her neighbor and watched as he took it to the water. "We can watch it sail off on its journey together," he smiled. Enid said goodbye and picked up the bag. It didn't hurt her shoulders anymore, but soon the dizzy feelings whooshed through her body again, and what-ifs circled her mind. What if she had visited Grandpa that morning? Would his heart not have broken? What if she had told him she was baking for him? Would he have waited for her? What if? Whoa! Well, hello there, said Ida, a lady Enid knew. Why do you look so sad? I lost my grandpa. Enid felt tears in her eyes again. I made some biscuits for him. I won't be able to give them to him. You're carrying so much, it's hard for you to walk, the lady said. I'm happy you decided to talk. Let me hold this for you and lighten your load. You are not alone as you walk this road. I know some birds that would love some biscuits. Enid reached inside her bag and handed it to Ida. They smiled at each other. Enid felt different now. She felt light as a feather. The sun had found its way through the clouds, and she spotted a rainbow. Before long, Enid arrived at the end of her street. She looked across the road at Grandpa's house. The bag was much lighter. She had let friends help her carry the heavy things. What remained were the special things. Memories. And the memories weighed nothing at all. They were light and lovely. She could carry them wherever she went. The end. So in the back, there's some more information about stages of grief and activities you can try. And then there's a little bit about the authors. Now this here talks about the 5 stages of grief with a question mark. And it goes through 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And it talks about what each of them are. And, you know, when it comes to grief, I don't really fall into the belief that there are just 5 stages. So that was once a common thing that we taught, and we learned that there are 5 stages of grief, and you hit each one of them, and then over time that changed to you may hit each one of them, but you may bounce around like a ping pong ball, and you may hit some over and over and hit none at all. And I tend to believe that, as well as that there's just other stages and phases and things that we go through when we're grieving, and that's okay. You know, there is no one right way or wrong way to grieve. We all grieve in our own way. And so just like Enid in the book, she had lots of heavy things she was carrying around. So this time it was physical things, which you may have, but also sometimes we carry around our heavy emotions and our thoughts and things that bother us, and we want to be able to release those and let those go too. And so that's why they talk about it in here. And she stopped at each neighbor's, and they said they were glad that she came to talk to them and to release her heavy load. And that's what she did, and that's what you can do. So if you are having feelings of grief and sadness and hurt, and you're missing somebody or something that you love, and it's hard for you, it's okay to talk about those things. I want you to talk about those things with your trusted person, with maybe your parent, a friend, another adult that you trust or care about, your therapist, anybody. It's okay to talk about them. It's okay to not be happy. Grief oftentimes is not a very happy thing. It's a sad thing, and it can hurt our heart and our brains and our bodies, and we want to be able to talk about those and do something about them. So you can get this book at your local library or bookshop, or on my Amazon list. All the books that I read here on Therapy Book Thursday are on my Amazon list, so feel free to check that out, along with many of the other books. If you're specifically looking for grief books, I do have many more on that list that I have read previously. All the books that I read are on that list. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you again next week for Therapy Book Thursday.